wo aflawo not our aflawo sector aflawo pogro hona na wo and then you just akete kwan wo kaswa fanko Peru na yefre no enti me mabushani nyina hyede papa ma wo hyede pa na no penso me bra pani manago kwesi bra manago bra kwesi ono so ye gya no kwa wo chebi dumase ti bra kwesi bebia wo bia no ya ma dem fedue e ma nanti ye pa ya na so be ne den nti menua bossa ye me bra yire a Gladys Agomeda Gladys anopei onso ma hyede pa na menim se ngohwe akire abusua no wo honti no de so bia ye bia no be ye ne de bra kwesi kwan na aye fefefe ewie ya sha se na ye kwa ne sa na abujafo makwa ba ya da masene mo mbre so ama the girl among the boys enti ya shada mama minu ha na mama minu so ha no tin finfi enti ne bambo ne dey very tight pa na no pay enti yan kwa ne sa free me ho mo me benkum siri enkoyi àwọn asem so ba ono mo so na siri pa o
ba o be so protected na no be yini ke na no pe
o kan be so o hwe
affirmative action what the
man can do
all missiles will flow.
Oh okay at the Beijing conference na o ma say yati ne be hwe
Ellen of St. Roses on duty
ebe ye nsuro
and next 7 days Ellen of St. Roses on duty
nsuro kra
Ellen of Kaswa is on duty
ai ati ebe ye nsuro do ewie imia binia kuma bako e wo USA nana du o se anokai wo hwe yi nyina enra na Thanksgiving Day e wo US nti amanfo twa mo no mu pa na yasam ketua yende ye wo ha yende Thanksgiving bi yende ye prepare for elections and then now what you prepare nti na no mama hye sem fan free so solo so far mo campaign ko sen ye nya ne tie sem mo framantem
yeah running me da se mama chia we tie for na me fan tie wo di floral chamatio emre mo nyina ho na o ka kire mo say in 7 days 8 days time no o TV so mo na metro president elect na ne bosumi akire no ye yore kufado ni ba o me free ye TV so na ye decide ni munyam no aba be hye ye TV so aba Ghana fo enya rehiem se ye to aba ma obi a odi mpuntuo enye niji se ye constitution ne ka no se o mampani na so dia ne so be ma Ghana fo eni age and article 36 no na wani age ana ene no rala nchomanten esemen kanchiro o se me san kanchiro mo se MPP fo amo se na twetwe se wakotira Prague mu e wotachiman se na dia fedi ehin rala nchomanten ana ote Prague
na ho ne kansa
MPP fo o me de koto mo fa yi ba abranti e friends ko fiufusu en kansa no kotwa o Alan Mobo au no o sere papa no na mi bra pani professor no so dia koto oh Alan baby edroni na omu social media for no na me hwe omudi na me ho se baby o man edro no adwene ne mo kofom esanse eskafo do anto aba ye ni boja fo ye ni bie ya yo te Prague mu ene ekwa koto aba ediminu anu ma mo tachiman mo wo Kumasi Aswase area mu ho nyina ne tamale ne boga ne wane yi a Prague ne didi etina mu koba no ye nuanu ma MPP for ka cha se mo de mo sen fata
yes I know mo ka
sa no mo ka cha
me say
wo fa na ye wasam mi ana ma betra America wo be jo o mo representative wa se nye sa no aka tra me
se nye sa se me bisa
opani akwa akotra Prague ma abrantie atumi asi na twetwe etwa ho video aye hwe ne mobo can you imagine eni tie be se mo fo mabufu mo frɛ me se mo bu afudie but se bufu na mo frɛ me ma mo ma no nso a se mo frɛ me aka chem ba mo fo mabufu na ne abato we could do ballot no so no mo akai die one mo bo die otena mo Prague mu a yes no esa se de bi o mu se mo te Prague mu a the omo ya ne se e sere nko a ba nyame ne hene me ba wasem no so
na de some campaign
I don't know me be kan na so
when you prepare and mama so mama yensa
campaign ni koyi papa me no kasa no pay Rural Nchemante Edu Savannah region and run now Upper East na vrongo boga ne mpote mu nyina da ne abutu e sanse no kore na nkofo peti nya nada abaya ye kokotu e de Ghana ni bia hwehwe bebu bia hwehwe ni adwuma wana di adwuma no bebrem na kwadanda na kofom ene no wakokirem with the great transformational plan me ba ni kora me yelo enwuma ni nyina agum na no so wahye mo bose mo de mo nhyɛ ase kora fa mo CV ne mra ewo www.3mggh.com when you find digitalization within card digital platform number kone ko upload CV na ye ba first 1.5 years no ya mamo 3 million jobs ye per market and one see ko one and CV marketing room na wakwa enye to whom you know and I say when I would say oh papa you know Ghana and I see in Ghana and yes again and nam for me and the future for you any be for you mo bro wa for you antia mam mai e be ye den ye tumi anya adwuma yi bia ye enso Rural Nchemante so be ma wo sa kwan no e to busa me campaign dey ye bonfete e ko ye papa
ama when I na ladies first but say na or sha say gidigidi ntina me say free ni so ne say or say mu nkrofo ni bi esre ono ni fact bearer say why mobo nti no fo pragia we say eno e mogu bi say na asresem just to extension and am bibi sa na moka sa na mo adwene yam
na me mabusuafo nyina achi
nyina joso
me fanchi aso me papa kwesi asante deko enne by now de kwa asore panyi odikan
okay
American town is the asore work aswa
okay
am enchia no na masen afa konya yeso na machia ewura na adodan kwa kofu ado na madanase me yese papa ye na ewura oyi mesi achia ewura ba omia enne we do eastern region aka baby about 2 or 3 constituencies be anese owi intine owo enra na otini volta omo so ne aka no so wakwa wie wiwi na afi machia papa kufo ene ni nua ketwa adokufo na ma hye omoden asamato mo na nyame enso mu ye maka ni se wie no na afi maba me papa Nchemante one esre no samri MPP for ye ni hwe 7 days to election say ya papa Nchemante ni ye kwasre ra opa ontena bobo yam opa ontena motorbike so opa ontena bicycle so opa nkwala ne trolley ne di piepia nkwala no opa ontena bi mu obia ne campaign method obia ne se ne osikwa ne nkrofo ho enti me ebra so no bamcho ye nheda ni mo ho bresa why 7 days to elections ye ni NDC for NDC for no ye na mo ye me no pona ye me pa movement for change for ho bre enti me sira Rural Nchemante opa toy aeroplane otimitram ni opese otremu bia the important thing is obitimi akọ no akọka na asema kire nkrofo no matenase ti odun se pragia na otremu na ebetenase a and say Dr. Bawumia bas Dr. Bawumia na bas me for more than 1 year ni enti mesira ye nheda enni omohomre sa aka 7 days ama yakoto aba ya campaign de nyame aye yadon enne me se me ko check the number of constituencies but I mean say I hit almost 270 constituencies Ewura Bawumia wakoho at least we real constituency BM Emprenza from last year na yakwa asema ye ka kire Ghana for ye start kan ye say Ewura Bawumia nko na samri babia ye du Ghana ye niema hihye mu ne ye mpuntu mu no ono ena di ye koyanim ono ne betimi di ye akoyanim saa asem ne yaka afini saa mremrante ne mabaawa ehia nkokon ketenkete omhia digital jobs because we are seeing na ko digital saa mre Ghana for ye nheda ente ye nuanum 24-hour economy na omo flag bearer say e voluntary yeah say e voluntary one na voluntary anyway omo abechirichiri mu ye hia ohun policy na nipa na oba no wate no position mu mfie nwotwe ontimi kura nkyere yen say me ba me yese say na meye no the policy na nya clear cut onu emu awonti ase say amre ni hia 7 days to an election, crucial election. Ye pese ye man free SHS na ye di omo koye no moto aso de bia me ba meka. Me se me so me man me amaso free SHS ewo mitiri so wa pampan so more than how many years ni. Na nyame be ye madom ama me so me ma akobia e bedu ho no ye agya ma ye nuani mo ba mo so mo cancellation masters. Enye nurse ni teacher training allowance ye canceller. Ya target free SHS fitida ya debaye eti ye hia se Ghana ni bia na ni abre opese Ghana ko nanim onim se ye Dr. Baumia ene se eto ababa no eti ya campaign di se de ye wie ye wura Baumia nso di mu na ye wura na pon so eno so na one side na ye wura Baumia ire nso so ene no na Haja Samira nso so University of Ghana ono ni university form rante ne mabawa no nebo nkomo wako UCC waba University of Ghana said take a crowd that's what wako na obeko which I have to find out ye run upon so na ye alma ono so nemu ti MPP de ye ni abre ye consolidate ye gains no na nyame ye adoma ye nim se na wotwe pepepe menye sure sana me de wo hade me de na me wo wanchi a me to maba ba me wie ya na me ba be dru anyumem kakra no na ye hu se ne agro ne so iko wo kwoto ama Dr. Baumia no so na wo to ama MPP parliamentary candidate kura owo constituency mo ifi say ye be ni say wa boso say ye be bokon parliament 4 years parliament ye nya ide menye sure say Ghana ni bi assign person parliament ni bi enti ye say Dr. Baumia wini a ode ni MPs full complement eba
eda say akugan eja akwa radio
yeah
ai so far how far mo so mo campaign na ko say
right medical ada etiefo na ahwefo nyina ase na ene akwakoye u program a etwato ansana yato aba no medina efidie we so edikan ada national executives regional constituency and a branch executives for nyina ase eye omodo omo adwuma sono a omo aye no eno ena ma ene NDC party no aye this attractive me ye no so efiri ho a se me ba UTV a che ya ene maba UTV na me de aseda PCA ma all our communication team members and our communication officers in the regions, constituencies, and then the branches. And I'm doing this on behalf of our National Communication Officer, Sami Jemfi, and on behalf of my colleague, Malik Basintele, thanking every communication officer for your commitments and mo ahofama to me all the radio and TV stations mo to me akonkodene ede ababedru ha no ye nka say monase no ewo esoro monase no it is in next week's victory me yi eno so efri ho a na maka say nyame ache yen ade anyame ache yen ene His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And let me know Ekase or share Ashanti region, which happens to be our final region or shall see ene. Your papa national chairman also ewo Bono region. Prof ewo Oti, that's our running mate, and yeah, general secretary so ewo Volta region. We have never rested because our strategy was to occupy all the regions at all times. In the Aticheyemu, Samiji and Fisoso, Western region. So in all, we have covered the face of Ghana, and we are doing this thing consistently. Nyame adoma. On Thursday, ye campaigning in a ebekwa kugu. Ye beye rally ewo Madina. And obey your final rally. Ye de beda nyankopon so ase. So all our tours, all our friends and travels yante asemboni bia eyade a yede be Nyankopon ase na yede a final message of encouragement so e ama Ghana for na mewie ne sei no na de menua Chavez ekaye Mamenti free her because it is not the main topic in Mamenti kakra being free mo na oka say omo campaign no it is on digitalization na ye de entiase na ye akokon ketenkete ene de ekeka ho and no so I'm surprised say now they are mocking Alan so ote Prague mo they are mocking His Excellency John Dramani Mahama because or explaining 24-hour in Eastern region e wo twi kase mo and na omo kate no a PC ni together is what he said was a 24-hour policy ayede ba no enye ohye so because enye sha na it say enye policy a e ba be dragi obia say by force we ye 24-hour but incentive e wo ho eno eye fe no wara beba wo se na program no e kwa wankasa e na be join 24-hour economy policy because you can see growth, you can see job creation, you can see cost maximization. Everything is in this 24-hour economy. And the same thing happened to Akoko Nketenkete Oka. Another productive policy. I say, me babe mamo akokoma pepe ni a opaka akokoma ekoka Akoko Nketenkete Asante 4 days no. And I'm saying this, and I'm choosing my words carefully. Anytime ubehu say MPP moke obino na wakoko onye akeni and wakoka baby. Omode ye Professor Mills. And you see, Ghana too is a country. No, that one was the economy. MPP when they don't have message. Omo pese omo moke enkrofo you see but nyamia dom Ghana so ye omanya ye wotima the moment would you be see ho say o moke no kra no you give that person vote. That is why sometimes yana minim say omo nti omo ankasa omo agenda say ana say bibi to forma no bia asom ana say bia peni bia eni middle or director say adie we ye nye ana say adie we oya maybe there's nobody at the center in the MPP campaign and muntina omunya sa ade no o can be upset here ye cancellation masters na ye be cancel free friends and free SHS ye be cancel nurses training allowance ye be cancel say Baumia oye head of the economic team oko northern region Ababawa in her second year I say a year moka say mubetu ya nurses training allowance mi wo ha 2 years ni me nya pinda me seniors a omewie ekono ye ntu obukada wo so so ababegina ha ka kire say me I paid your nurses training allowance. What was Baumia's response? Also me kwa ko bisa finance minister wo ka sa akra wo hokra no you didn't know say ye ntu ya so akwa sloganeering yankike bibi engum and all that. Okay. Baby a yedru eneno emebu no seven preduasa omo pe tangibles bia omo dibe rule omo ankasa omo life. They want something to hold on to. Sanyame ya adom na se party way eba power kwan ben so na mefa menya adwuma yesi de yefunu ejiane omen. Apart from that there enye kasatenten enye nkrofo betwa mumpoa ena ade no ena ebema wo vote. Me that's it.
When the one come there we are some person the party be they are United Party and I asumpa ewo enti abani say no ya se bibia boko
eja yesu tase
no they are say me so follow campaign na ni say ne message ko so far who campaign messages ne ne masem ko so person can we fe wi a na ya ba
eja me da say anopa my main campaign ma Jesus particularly because of Shraj report on National Cathedral.
Okay.
And I think it's very important. I say this. Unime, me ba fide so bisusu ze baby anokra da no.
I owe it to my conscience and my faith. For me, from where I sit, say obi oye Christo ni now jitum say Yesu Christo no kwafo no. I think the Strage report on the National Cathedral is a very, very unfortunate report. Mapebre ashim. Two essential conclusions. They can say they should be further investigated and prosecuted
if possible.
Yes. Strage a constitutional body. Watonobo a 165-page report. Means to say bakukra woma me madwemu that support, because to say Cathedral ne shase animpo contractor wo ho no etiamra and all of empenyimfo a yabobo omanima sabi omukuta Yesu franka na yebo Yesu din no to say adro atwetwe ye nyina ye to, and we're mocking the leaders of the church because of this unfortunate thing. 220 something million cedis. Yeni bibiasio. The bigger question is compensations. Judges fear ekotia sa amna we dahoyi. Say raba omia kra we nya ye be ne den. The bigger question is who would be held accountable for it. The entire case is to be accountability. The central part of our faith and yes sebi so amaya yepe nkwa nemum yepen yebu waten. So for me, accountability is a big part of this conversation. And say Ira Maumian Nebe Winyo, say Ira Mahama, say Ira Alano. The bigger question of who will hold people accountable is a big conversation. Why Nebeka say, I mean, Sebi, of course, the last 8 years and previous government, we've seen so many things. Sebi, Yekocha Odo, say the boat basis. Besi ene, although that's yet silted, millions of dollars afa. Of course, it may look like I'm going against the government because I'm on it for the last 8 years. But the bigger question is, who would be held accountable for all the mess we've seen? Mina na se ope sebi ope wase aha mahia na oma no peposo asase do. Empenyimfo we yera Daghill Mills resigning. Ne letter wo kan say almost suggesting say they weren't even the board. Na board na nkasa no wo ho na they have not been registered. Into ubisa say campaign ne ko say amede anopa me campaign ama Yesu. Okay. Na Yesu campaign ama ne say the team finfini ne say you see ebu atain. Me susu say principle of accountability should be central for whoever wins, and it should be a basis on the pure basis of accountability. Okay. And I think that party for Noaha, I'm eager to hear what their stance on accountability are, because 2020 Auditor General says about 52 billion is being paid from into some sort. Basically, you see the 26 billion plus another 10 billion financial services restructuring. Who is really going to account for Sika Sebi amount for bonds near amount for Sika or Modia Kotoa Yaji necessary 200 and something million akodi amanamuno. Who would account for it? Yera Baumia, who would he hold accountable for it? Yera John Mahama, Yera Alan Chamantin, who would he hold accountable for it? Indeed, for me, accountability is a big problem, particularly say report neba now, and that's why I'm speaking to it. Mrs. Su said report no and for the leadership of the church, who superintended some of the worst scandal in my humble view, and try
you should ask in no pay, say why campaign case say the amano. And see, some pass will be an how wapa, and I can if I campaign who parties in and joined the Nadia. But it's Akugama Missions and Friends through some more, and Amusha says some more Casadia farm, ye see some who. If Fibra, ye see a chassis so to Tonya Masena Bear 2024 election between your person. No raising issues how do be. deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ a ye bɛkae paa yɛntu mu bɔ ni nyinaa baako ɛyɛ sɛ edu baabi yɛ sɛ abato ɛbɛto na fie no yɛmfa indelible ink ɛnka yɛnsa ɛyɛ ade a from 1992 bɛpem na yɛnsu indelible ink na mo raise ka ho asɛm a edu baabi yɛbɛte sɛ yɛse BVD bi ayera yɛse ɛnyɛ na ayera ɛyɛ computers laptop afikowi yɛse no da bibi saa akokosi yɛnyɛ ntie sɛ mo ka sɛ wɔn mo ɛdo wɔn kɔ gu Electoral Commission hɔ no ebinom party communicators a head of IT ɔno communication team member edema the ruling government which is that's a ruling party MPP ɛno akyi musa raise issue bi about panyinfobi a ɔmabɔ say anhwe yɛ ɔmba basabasa yɛsi ma mo yɛ ho press conference ama mo bɔ soldier panyin bi din straight sɛ wɔno woso sɛ deɛ ɔbɛyɛ nie mo wieyɛ masan keka na fe ababedru nneɛma baako menu mensa bi akɔ so for instance nansi ayi se kyerɛ sɛ ballot papers bi ashoto ɛwɔ whole east whole central Ketu north ni nasefo ɛno so nsɛm abansa na ɛnra ne na sɛ deɛ yɛsi ya ɛse ballot papers na ɛkɔ nkɔkɔɔ no seal ne bi ate saa ne ma nyina yɛka ne nyinaa bɔ mu a mo as a political party a mo opposition party a mo pesa mo ba ban mu no ɛdeɛ paa ɛna mo ka fa ho me ma 10 minutes
okay me da say bi na 10 minutes no crowd also because so, questions fine because I believe say a very simple issue we are see a yewo no ho senior obesa wo mpa no saa na obeda so senior opese ye frɛ wo no saa na ye be frɛ wo enye udin ba senior wanka so opese ye frɛ wo saa na ye be frɛ wo na no ye wo ho na Nanadudan Kwaku-Fado say we Charlotte Sayed. For the first time unprecedented in the history, we Electoral Commissioner Eddie on one case Babayan appointments.
Oh, you know, do that in the reason, and I said, BBN, or sorry, I said, Charlotte Sayed, you would call.
Also, a procurement bridges.
Was see, and I said, Sana Netty.
Maybe, Obi a petition here.
Okay.
Obi petition here. And also, the findings, no, they say, a procurement bridges. Yes, so why you boni bi and I say procurement bridges are a criminal offense me boa. Inti anka dwene bi tachire say ampani ampa say enye say pesi yi na bi. Boni et say prosecuting na. Anka yi na di na say anka de no ko jira court. Enam say e political nti no their satisfaction say ye nya bibie gina so e yi Charlotte say ye di nti no enka e wo ho. Fine. O ba be yi enkrofo a on ba be fele vacant positions are ababeda ho. We Jane Mensa, we Bosman Asari. Bosman cried initially a buyer na near say papa any role wole gone test con muidie a bed in kakra ye kaya people appealed so there be on 1 year pen o kwakoyi mo IT director APJ nipa kan ho asema say na papa ya yene neti radio so a oye NPP adwuma ebe ye den na wabase ne de me neutral person me ba be ye adwuma amagana ya yeti he nyina ene omo hwe there are people that we call them neutral but deep down no oto aba owo inclination but because onyi nanim nti no he is bound say I will do good to all manner of people because ye hu me in any political line. Ubetuma appoint you be a beer or ye politically aligned and bibisa. However, not a known face. Ye kaya and also Nanadudan Kwaku-Fado say ontie. Now no ye wa Jane Mensa MPP appointees ye omo meeting omo yomo end of year party. Jane Mensa kwakotinu
when end of year party
MPP Emma omo end of year party all appointees of NPP na Jane Mensa akwakopi mu ewo ho yes na anado na appoint o but one appoint o say MPP member nje ba ne say na okotena asa meeting him so that is our basis say na mo say mo kete no sa ene de be frem wo ye no efri ho a based on this MPP ideology omo de run Electoral Commission say here no ama even appointment are almost here for presiding officers and na no na a year press conference Draboso MP honorable friend saying Kwabena Minta Akando. List presiding members no. Okoye no MPP omo polling station executives and na ya select omo say omo koye polling agents. He did it, I don't know, say Peace FM mo show ya. Sa press conference mo show ya.
Yeah.
Showing people in omo penny constituency omo ye MPP for ye di omo akọ Electoral Commission so omo ko supervise elections. Who will believe such a person? Yes, and so ehwe bibi. Ye kwakoto ye friend is saying aba ya to about all these years. They be from 92. And I'm saying na ye nyi ehun ni ntina. Ya say indelible ink ni. What they show sa ontumi nkoto mienu. One, mo budget echo parliament no. Na sa ink no budget for. Parliament say ye discana mamo. Mo koye mo procurement na de. O wa sense wa ba bi o say min konkoto min koko yusu indelible ink. O political parties will be complaining. Today ne beba otrima obeka say you are not going to use indelible ink. In penifosu nebu baby say adwenbonebo ekuretrima otongum. So we also said that this is for mischief. Ghana for SODTI and sana omoyo margin say okay and no dey ye beje atom. But what is the intent? You must see say definitely no a bibia ebeba nkrofo bi enya opportunity to vote more than once. Ye nanu ya na BVD machines
ebeba BVD for there no hwe emaya yesi de man ne say so long as ade no biometric no say me biometric details ni nyina ewa ha na say epike say me eja kwabena metuma ba wa yawa so West Wogon mato awie apeke wa ha no say centralized system enti say me say me ko ba bifu fra kokoto a because say apeke wa enti no a reflect ewo headquarters enti say because say me san koto bi wa enya de betu bi apeke
ni nya ye na da mama explain me use two things to explain it to you.
Okay, me tell
edikan centralized system and so obi to me ejije nkrofo cards without their presence pusiga yom from one your friend is saying a polling station in a different region to another region, a different police station. It was not detected by the system. It took NDC to be able to say this is it. And Omuka say there is a problem in the system which they will correct. So if we were not vigilant, Ankasa say me, Ehinanka, Ombeko Akoka Kawo. Secondly, people can vote without the biometric device because onsa bibi to me ba home machine no MPK onsa, so you vote manually now we vote to the bed na akwa tell you obi office say obi we vote to that me to me the manually abaha me the manually abaha e dey akwa 10 places akwa vote manually. There's nothing on my finger, and in fact say me ni card kra na me ni my voter ID card me to me akwa bo me din na yama me kwan amamato, and that is the education that I'll give to many of you at more mo voter ID card ayira enu nti mo nkoto aba ena de no voter ID card ayira ubetumi akọ polling station ubo odin a it is mandatory say be hwehwe odin e de amaw. The only thing say it makes it difficult be a sanka card no ho a anke ma no ye easier, but eno so benya abotre ni ahwehwe e de amonye gidigidi asem ho. So these are some of the things anka ebetumi happen if we didn't insist on the biometric device. And let me also assure every Ghanaian yana yom say MPP be to me ewiano. Let me salute our elections directorate headed by Dr. Omane Buama. Be rest assured chronobian to me because we have followed them, and everything from indelible ink for the device BVD device being lost and all those things, we've been able to seal all those things. So let's come out and vote. Continuing on the BVD, BVD era, what was our expectation? What the era no? And a sanka udi kai ekem say BB era ewaha. Mu mankem NDC ne hu ye no, and ye ba abonte beka say mo niema we ayira, mo laptop, mo BVD machines ayira. The first thing they told us was BBI and right, true or false. So and no person say they are telling you indirectly say yes and you see the wire no ono nim the ote so probably e wo mu ankasa mo ho amode amamu agent bi say mu koye registration bi e wo baabi enfamra enu ntia mo ka say enyiran later what happened omo call police station report here e ma nipa ba akokora ka kire ni so enamono so na we baaye into onko fi so what happened that e ma yen aye ni easy ye hunu ye na mo mu so this one should tell you say these are some of the things that a friend is saying now komo pese omoye the last time omo mayen data for final register and even before I get to that let me even deal with the issue of exhibition they be aba beto aba yama register if you are ye exhibition after the exhibition na yama ye final report ye a friend is saying exhibition and you say and you may be uncle ye and we pointed out to Electoral Commission MPP for ta omochi omudo share the problem bia enim other political parties e bia 1% kura omunya kura no eta omuso omochi ebo backing vocalist ye wie ye ye de ye summaries and our findings ema wo no no they ate a humble pie omo ka say yensan so mo omre na omo nko enkohwe omo niema mu omo kohwe mu baaye no omo se the NDC e ka no e no kre but to admit it kra no na eye den emomo enom so okay the ombe ne say omba be ye re-exhibition in fact it wasn't a re-exhibition they have seen say yache wo so they must put the data back to the state in which it was say the be friends eba be re-exhibition and now for the first time in the history of our elections ye be re-exhibition omo ka say ye no online ye be no short code bi enade why should this thing happen if you have a fair-minded ye wie eno so omba mema ye final results what happened omba ya no mo de ye friend is saying pen drive so no everybody here say this is it and we stood up again said there be the ye dey kono yen political parties nyina na wa ha we must know and admit to say information e was so because anytime ye dey hard disk ababeje data no mo the summary e ka homa yen the summary will tell you the total number of registered people that is on the sheet that we are giving to you the number of women the number of friends say men your friends say proxy the number of proxy the number of people who are voting on special all these details will tell you Timmy they call na minim say summary ni nia what did they do catch us so summary no dey enka when my time it took us 6 hours so be kaya that night 12 midnight and so be catch say yeah more time nanka we akasa system data my misuku nie friend say family life and as a Pentecostal center school enunye me student population enie teachers enie na me ni nyina names no egum na me catch us say me the number of teachers omo ye ma the number of students omo ye mema enie ya should it take you even 10 minutes should it take you but 6 hours mo to me amma ena mo ka say later mo de be my later we went for this your friend is saying data ya started the process one more omoba print ballot papers and nadia ideally esesanka your friend is saying open tender because last 4 years we had a company like Inolink printing extra papers yet see omo catch say omo printing for in case there will be a second round and in fact if there will be a second round it will be between 2 people until you cannot decide say the same sheets and the baby call okay no how to go to a printing press here war I friend saying we call fan call on me refine din book press we have to go and bend ties and all those things and see the baby inspecting on facility and we say also extra papers ego into what's our experience with the past 4 years now say a dream be enter here you don't pinpoint those yes they can have the capacity they can have whatever but for clarity no open tender all printing presses are more capacity to also do it no mumra you didn't do it and mo ankasa mo choose there mo be choose your one you catch say omo printing voter region omo printing a half serial numbers and idea basa. So we have to go and burn it and print. So what made you choose those companies if you know say omunisa capacity, no? If not for diabolic and your friend is saying questionable things that you want to happen, why will you choose? Will you do this to your nation that you say you love? And then summary sheet here you can say who be here and idea because omo anyomo adwuma eye entino voter region so no omo science so any shortages in printing. Printer, what you need is data and statistics. Omo ye kwakwa printing 100,000 plus or minus 82% be also for sports, friends say ballot and all those things. Should this thing be difficult? Should we have your friends saying shortages or another voter region, you know, we cannot print the number that are supposed, we must shortchange them and I say etc. No, the same method that Moody selected these printing pressing, you catch them say omo printing for Eastern region. Your friend is saying Ghana Publishing Corporation.
Yeah.
A branch ya order sa company no anono. Let my vote count. Onu na odiemi. Ene oye aspirant. Onu na eba be print ne papers.
One yes,
that's
David
contest your primaries.
On your aspirant.
Remember, didn't he contest your primaries as aspirant? He lost. He went and lost.
The one former Africa Bugono.
No, yes.
Okay.
It is on a airplane to honor. That is his constituency. He has an interest. En koko ya muko print or only way. Ye move adiano ediako Eastern region no. In koko seal at it. And you are telling me Mama June and Nante.
And you're coincidental.
A bit my coincidental, a bit me so I planned. It imagine no, a bit Nantia for baby. You are a neutral person, you know. You are looking at it say coincidentally something can happen. But you see, say enyema miensa ena ebo adiemu. MPP seal boom, NDC seal ebom, EC seal ebom. Not really na etia and as a coincidental so neso
be a sharp be objective na
and I make sure say sharp coincidental so
sharp object
and it happened to be Davis constituency or not so no head printing so
printing press no head. So how do you tell me say this electoral commission? Listen, I am saying all these things and I say nyame kan nyina no and yes me person me bo Ghana fo no, but me per se you electoral commission a kwanya odi afa so from day one abebe dia yedri ye nim say ye shebre no e say yankasa yensa. That is why we are being vigilant from the printing, from the movement to the day of the elections. Be rest assured, say your polling agents, your monitors any no, we are going to work to ensure say victory will be delivered and Ghana will be safe. That is what NDC. You be a NDC. You be Ashamo. So don't be afraid. Go out there and vote because MPP nim say enyadia so bia e kwa kotoa ba omuntumi enwini ntino. Oma ka kire radio stations for be say monka say MPP for na to day one the other days no. So onim say why adwuma papa ube suro. Say nipa be pie abonte abebeto aba. They have admitted that alone makes you know because it was known to me TV and that station no pro NPP their mouthpiece and all that. If this is what they are saying now, the only thing they are telling you they say we have lost. We must use other forgery ways to ensure say you bet me a winning. But no say there's no other way for them. Come out and vote. All right. Don't be afraid. Menase. When the said ya mama kuga time sa so na mama amade konso so mama nembre pepepe na ya hwe na obi aso benya nembre said ya sisi na ama wo share bebia akuga sha se free ye bubo ne ma hodo bi so a bebedu bebi edu ya eye enra de ye si ye sen kokko ballot ye ekọ no seal ni nyina kotete na sefo na mo so mo ye mo na mo aba mu a mo hwe kwanse mo beto aso sa ne ma ba ku menu mi se sisi akuga bobo so say wo de toto ho am as a political party government in power no muso mu ni say eye fumso bi ese efa de nebre so ana say eye bibi e betumi aka so eye ni padwuma de human institution na fumso wo ho ne ma ba ko ni be say betumi asinti no ye mfa ne sa na say den me ma osema be dunum wo sasemi ho ama
Electoral Commission and when your first time all your elections. The kind election we are not just number 9 since they started in 1992 and a 93 constitution. 9th election in our bay. Now you come with history mukakra. Opposition party be a juma. They say obey general Electoral Commission. So if you say one hour wabonting, you now per se ubem. It is obi opposition on the Electoral Commission and tene MPP for time and ye opposition near Electoral Commission and tena yi obe kaya 92 omo koto aba na miswade me kaya kakra na ye de say the box no ni ye opaque boxes MPP for ne di anim say yempinio ohwe history of Electoral Commissions anytime somebody is obi wo opposition no on the Electoral Commission and tena yi normal if you say na dwen ne say Electoral Commission boa ni onu wotumi no wasisi no enso ya tima krom ha e masa Electoral Commission we ya etimi aye election am opposition a win age power every ni ote ho 2000 so na Electoral Commission we ya even though that nani pay di any different no omo ya election erakufo win ye meboa 2009 Electoral Commission we omo ya sa election in prensa 2009 ya ko in prensa and 2008. 2008. Yeah, on the 3 times.
2009. Yeah, time.
A time they try to and time check here less than 40,000 votes.
Yeah.
We win election yet be away in the betch there we be but over history more. Sa election no. And so government in power say be you rekufo o say rata mi say win. Ye lose obi an fa ne bag nkofi. Electoral Commission it me ye. Yet krom ha 2016. Electoral Commission na so tenase sa many pa na wo na NDC for na appointing no and so NDC lose by 1 million votes enti media me hu say obi atunani esi Electoral Commission so na especially opposition me hu ni say nadwuma na oye nadwuma na oye enti say wo adwuma wo opposition say wo ye na wo ye
na say no
that understand ye ni o kan no ni o de NDC for the year starting from day 1 ni omo akebia Electoral Commission nya ho ansa ebi wo ha Electoral Commission say NDC for no right asem BBC ye enti ebe siesie na mo siesie ebi wo ha omo say nya mpa ni omo ka no enya nokore na enu so ye siesie enu nkyere say election na ye ko no obi wiem na MPP for ne yakɔhye Electoral Commission na chi say yakoto abawe na Ghana for say omo mpa MPP for Electoral Commission timi nya ho hwe abawe ya yekoto na Ghana for koto aba na wo si MPP for omo ani nyi ye ho a Electoral Commission timi nsesa no yesa koto abawe na Ghana for si NDC for mo ne mo candidate eye mo so si ye ni nyi mo ho a Electoral Commission on timi nsesa aba no ye niema ya hyehyɛ for 9 solid elections no kyerɛ ye nyina ma ye hu say Electoral Commission oye na dwuma yie enti ye wo political party no when you bring so person over to me ubeji to me no when they say we are oni emayi we have a history in this country omo numbers kura aba no omo nya ye kura won timi ankwa nkɔkyerɛ ye won kyerɛ ye kɔtena court dem e ma general secretary kɔfa calculator as obi oye science and maths quiz they sin NDC for 2020 aba omo nya ye omo kɔ court omo ntimi ankyerɛ enti as at this time me NDC for and say so mo ani kɔbri Electoral Commission so yes omo hu bibi omo timika but omo niema na say so omo hyehyɛ ni ye if you say Electoral Commission owie mu a enye ye
ye hwɛ nyina so ahodo omo gina so bia omo na omo kasa say omo kra allegation ba kom ye ne say mo director IT or IT department yan kan say ono ayem communication member e wo Bono region and omo san e kan ye say Owura Bosman Sare ne nsam kan mi ne mahodo bi eno so eka ho na de na sen kura de esi kura se person ho nsam sami na yesi BV de ayira enyira afi wi na ayira saa ne man keten
inti enu chere say no aka ni nyina no whether true or false isi ababe ma ho me can say because me nye isi spokesperson
okay
me nye adwuma wo ho ti e be ye den say mehu ne ekoso wo ho me MPP ni o ti MPP fo asem ne hia me
okay
say what be kan isi fo ma won answer na won say Ewura Bossman wona wo say wo school no na o ye test con ni na MPP communicator omo na mukura access to the way na machine na omo no mukotwa bi egumu na omo koye ne se na mo na mo power na ni NDC fo na omo susura at Electoral Commission ho systems na we Electoral Commission ho it is such that em fa ho no background udu ho adwuma no be ya ye ne 9 solid times adenti in necessary mo ni isi fo wa asem a mo ni omo wa asem ba mo fa MPP fo mem yeah MPP for ye ni abri o ye ya hihye ye niam o ye ni abri say ye break 8 ye ni abri say Dr. Baumi aye president enti ye hihye ye niam wo fie abana ye beto no rise from polling stations am be kai 2012 MPP for ye de ni break Supreme Court and when judges ni hwe ye nim din ka kire ye say elections are won at the polling station omo ka kire ye point blank say opese o win election enya TV so enya nkran a polling station over how many thousands of polling stations when okoye adwuma ti MPP for ye polling station ho fiti sa 2012 no e besimbe e na ye bie ye ni na polling station ye training ye nkrofo ye make sure say obia nni se so ye on the D-day any polling station ho ne hia enti ansa na dan bedu a isi bebo na ba no so na ye nya ye de e se political party dan bedu a ye bubu aba no hu se we lose na we win ye nuanu NDC for so far omuntimi nkyere yen so omukro mutimi kan your numbers enti as it is now there me dey me hu ni say ne adwuma se so omoye e na omoye if you say we ma wani amre as an opposition party an fa wani an fa isi no ye adwuma
e betu afa kon
na samwa omo asamwa na mo yesa no mo fa ye mam because ye susu ye ni amre hihye ye ne the fact say ye megina abonten entia mu nkasa ye ne nche say ye ni isi ni problems because enye ha na eba ba nya abonten na ye be kan na ebe ye ni biribi we hu biribi akono ko na one ne nkoka Ghana publishing asema me check na the Ghana publisher ya ban dia
yeah
and anya ban company
aban dia
na aban wo power enye ne nkrofo na omo ye qualify na ye momo adwuma enti den na kire say Ewura David Asante e na ahyeda e na wakwa titi seals so otisi no wa ye ne den if you say bra mami nchewade the way as our backs in the city printing press ho MPP fo gina ho NDC fo gina ho me boa ye print ya ba no omu gina ho obi a seal wo so ye du ye na seal no eyi no enya de MPP fo ye be print say sa bag ne ye be use
na enye coincidence
we see ye bia in the transportation bia no enye sa mre na wo be gina ho abeko ho ntokwa ye hu asama aba next batch ye mfamra aye no ye correct ba wo me gina ha me kan say Ewura David Asante ina che so okogina car ni no cra scissors ina otwitwa ye nyina nim say nyampa eti Ghana publishing no about we hu adwuma ye aban de no na nka ye ka ni ye kra pa ke say Ghana publishing the print ye manyina ye kan yi a nke second publishing na ye nyina nanso eja procurement assembly say ye nyina ebinu nsusu ni adwuma ni bi ye ntine ye ma ada companies abam enti say Ewura David Asante ho na nkokọ de asama abaso anyi onu na ye candidate or primaries wo lusu ye enti person o kire say person owie mu ana o person ye den how is that possible now ballot papers nso mu men ka say serial numbers wo hu if na be ka kire se na esi wo omo no ahafode ye no serial numbers na ankoyi yeti ha na isi be ka kire yen se na say the latest one the mo say voter region enye voter region pe omo the whole list ba
me na
ahafu wom mahu ahafode ye wom mahu che se omo ye omo
ye ketu south wo central
meba
hohoi ene me hwehwe me so me hwehwe na me de atawachi wo
the whole list of don't help me I'll look for it me help NDC help there me hu there be me hu ene ni NDC help obeba kra no asen aye we wo
obeda jiade a wo ba be kan free wo no
Electoral Commission faulty and shortfall of ballot papers no mo de aba the regions no western Greater Accra pro de omo ye ni 2 am say 3 kra that de Kotopon Tema West nko mo de be 3 in e ba ya also west we gone call Leklote Western North Sefiwi also Upper West Laura Upper West na Jirapa Upper West na Lambusi and Afebulu East Techiman South Kintampo North Kintampo South Pru East ni nyina amo de aba e be your shortfalls e be your faulty e be your shortfall e be your shortage just say your printing no kura anso emu no mo ase atworo nipa na printing houses na quantities no booklet na short no e be 100 e be 4 e be 1 e be 2 e be 5 ya saying the printing houses no edin aba checkpoint InnoLink Acts Commercial and Ghana Publishing Assembly Ghana Publishing for kwan apart from Eastern region Techiman bunu East the na issues ba ho nyina Ghana Publishing so shortages fault 7 shortages say 5 enti adenti na esese umane kasa ne tisenia momo strongholds enkwana isi the problem aba that is not it the omo di aba actually omo internal processes na di aba ti mejitum manunsi mejitum say isi omo problems MPP for yakura ya ni omo issues but ye meka no abonte ye ya na ye ni omo gina ho because omo ni gina ho an wasiesie ni ye no wetini ade ho akoye wade obetina abonte na wosu be kasa ho de bia obefa ho no de aye ni obeye
ama omo ya adwuma for say the kan ni abato de to so nkunu ni enti de to so enkunu ni dia na che bibia de adanse se osuehunu wo ho e bi oso nipa na wo sa bre kra na odi wo sa wo sa bre na sa bre no ni ho a de ebinum ye ya bedu bibia aduru no so no ono so ya to aso de say improvement na se ba ense se ye twikọ ye chi ye hwa afarijan abre so sa shortage of this shortage of that na se fo bibribe ni nyina an sheda e wo ho de but an sheda nye rampant se de we tie Shout to Sandra Sono. Me pacho shout to Sandra Sono.
More data.
Me pacho me dia bato na chi from day one.
Sandra me ma wanu si. O manu ku anukurensi. Me ntia me ma wanu si ne se.
Me say we na mama me so unso kasa we say me ma wanu si to ma me so manu si. Na se ebia we so akwakoba sa e by the kan you say the call voter region na Bono region no. Ballot papers serial numbers no or how until the whole thing was recorded and we shall say aba buy no so we are short to we are say and ababisi and the dey call baby so no and so see na one no see no so eni ho enti sanfo so kitin no enye hamu as a political party said referee no wo mu no sa dem fun so kitin no ebema referee nankasa ne credibility no asemisa akwakoba ho ai be betu di oha ba the outcome of the election e betumi am obi adwunu na say ade we dey so mo sha say na wi ya na bai
ba wo kosoro ba for the na adwunu wa ya na adwunu
okay
nti eno no menya sure say ade say ye high who too much about it ye omo ye isini na say ye na niam in such a way say nkrofo beginedi me hu ne say sad announcement ye rafareja mresho no kwani nyame anim na ye media ni senia ye si information na enko round the internet bi enhede ni ho saa social media ni ho saa enti niam si ye korapo a me ye show say bi si ya political parties almost find ways sorting it out but when you say your information age mo na if you so ahye ye nyina abo so be transparent enti so no kura ko hu ade na e so de beto abonten onti mi mfa nhye ne kukuo mu te se na affairs no ko be sorting it out din won the office so say enti sa enti wonti mi nkan say because say 1 or 2 BAP enti ye worse than the last time you need data be ye we afarija mmeresho 40 papers mi hu bi da papa Charlotte say mmeresho mi hu bi da but easy way there baby abrabo ne ko no amfa ma political parties need the paper in terms why na dey say the ono hu ya no aba kan no kre na afa wa kire mu nia esese wo ye MPP fo ne enti a wonte ye nka wa bonten ne say ye hu a ye kokogina mu so say issue ni nie mu ntena se ne yenka NDC for dem me hu so mo adwuma no mo ye as an opposition party say na so mo ye say mo dede ba mo ho opposition party there wa ma dede ama wo ho a uti wodi obi ante wo nka nti we nyina ka we say means no ho another thing is so mo nim so mo lusu ene me ka no kura challenge point one eti e say mo siesie o mo nkrofo na adwen se de be ya lose ne ba na yi si na anya ni yie omo aye bi pen omo aye bi pen we nya ade a eye news ye tikrom ha na 2020 omo lusu ye by 500,000 votes presidential enso so na omo gina ho ko franco former be gina yi si anim be she tai e ma ye di nso hye egu omo so na mo mu kokko omo so ma lusu enti mi say preparation of the omo nkrofo no ade ye started last year na omo so omo comfortable lead omo de bi omo comfortable lead comfortable lead for ya start here no mo say mo ko yi Dr. Bawumia mo yi ni kura ye nya campaign ndc for anka sanjere ogunu ha say he campaign woni abre ye na me jin sanka bai na mo so mo yi Dr. Bawumia omo de speakers besi ho nsema Dr. Bawumia kom bebo a kire yen e den na asi ka bai na senka ye rama hama wada adenti no na Ashanti region Dr. Bawumia onya competition enti omo Sadia no mo checking mo kan se pete tak hemu a ade na enkoyie te se ne 2020 ankoyie no to mo start share mo nkrofo na dwen se ne be ye ba ni asan de akosi isi so isi de ni tiri anye ye asem bia obi akọ election no olusu o de share isi eti isi no so wate no ho ase onim se besi but obeye na dwuma yi se na be ya wo de kokota untimi nkonko proof ne rom aje bra se edun kati akoye na make no fa calculator te se national maths and science quiz mistress na afi judge fo busa no wunya ahe afi eto no ho na afi na ato ne we the same process no mutimi minye ndisi ntimi so mutimi ahyehyɛ mo ne ma yie bia omo si afi die nyame ye adoma omo be hyehyɛ ne yie mesrɛ mo omo hyehyɛ ne yie no mo hu omo figure se de be ye omo lusu a omo be gi atum ne enfra nkrofo ma megira bonti ma ye hwen so hye ngo omo so okay eno ba boa omo o police for de oba be ye nsem o spa ka kire se wo a wunu na ba be die ne ense se wo ye no nso be nya so hye okay enti misra ndc for enye isi na ese mo attack in 7 days to an election wo se bribi esi amuni isi se mo nkrofo wo isi ho I hope say this time round mo kon so amode mu biscuit mo de mu tea mo de mu mulo mo de mu bibia be ko me wan kwa kase ma uti a ya ma biscuit ntu shori ja ho
so no mo hwe dia kwa ba nyina mami fa we enhase me fa ma wo se na be bi tuna gina so dia ayi de di kan de se de akogan kan ye no o kan bibi about kwabra menta kando sa video no yehui ama oyi branch no kura nim se asemasi we oye sei ewo MPP mu na bebre kura wo ho a wo mugu so eye ho adwuma eno baako de to so mienu eye nansen a baako bi apre gomua east bi apre ye audio bi se kuju asemanyi ni constituency
nyanya no 18 obudumbura
yes ba ya say per voice yeti ye no I say yisi adwuma e form yensa na akwakoka obi hu a omudi nkomo a onipa ne ka say Dr. Bawumia de wawini na de wawini enti no oni sa nkrofo na per seed yisi fo no ebe edi nkomo na wo mo hwe okon betu abo odon so amana ba wini parliamentary seat no eno so yade ba ko a video audio no ba bontema ya TV
enye video
aye audio sanye man keten ni sisi no yetumi nyina so kasa yampa na se yampa but assembly bana se ye bo subo bi na se wan be yu hu ano a ye say silence means consent sanye man keten ene se dia bobo so ya bedru die dru ye se eho ayi sil makomakomi ensa tumi titi free hu a obi anim okwan fa so titi ye no a ema mo as independent a mo so ti akira mo hwe kwanse betuma besan se two major forces no mo na moni abese betu won free ho asara mo tumi abebaje leg no na mo so mabo ache nti o wonu mu you know tricks is ni na mo de fe na mo ba nti mo na nikan hamo anasa mo fo se mo tutu am aye nti mo ni problem bia
ejamida se ma ba ofia be catch us Electoral Commission we and commissioner no ye trust them one bit
sir
you nyomuni no mo kro mo nyomuni the last time we had park meeting no so it say director of IT catcher say omo operate with the zero trust policy. Omo nye ni. Me gojo omo ni nyede. Eni so ojo omo di abeya ye koi omo nya ombe wie mama MPP take it from me.
Hey.
Na ya na mo ba mo de nyoma na wada woni tua so obeso owi abai mu MPP na wa ba ne ye diplomatic. I don't believe in that.
Na onyi na so ne sen.
Jacobna. O ma na bitu. Hwe ade a omo ye nyina omo ye pilot no e wa adwoso. Adwoso by election so follow it.
Yeah.
Hona Professor Kingsley Nyako. Otu kai free kwada so. Otra so folai. Otra kejitia. Otra uforikrum. Oye ya no ko adwoso. Oso oban we hu bia wo hia aduane okwan so. Otam sika pudio dollar ehade mu ma. Okọ ya ba yo bia frere Regina sewa eni sasu. O jai dollars go mu ma. Sorry Ghana say
envelope no de maye
dollars akese pa na do so tuka ye Ghana sika ni nyina na minim no charge you legal no on kire dollars abra wo oba be ye minister MP wo yi dollar na me tax no wo yi no do come my electoral commissioner returning officers na wo hon ana abai eduomi independent candidate na so obvious so o win election no ye dane ne kwanta. That was the first point. So one more a man is all course by election be a man no. And I mean my MPP neither. And I mean a juicy year pa. One more na ye electoral officers with various polling stations na MPP before. Now your pilot no more. And no tino omudi omunkofo akugu. Omuwie no omudi wi ya ye no me bonsam ta o mo friend bonsam wi pay adwosofo so say mo hyengo kudinsi ku. That was it.
And then you get to phone a cancer.
And you get to my me gina so my men quite the town in suru mo say me o bad time baba abesiri wa te say me wo di wi bra me say me menom nyade. As MPP for you. And untinya dia also fa no agudie. Eye etribo po a omunya se omunya ombevi abani. Esan say whether or not Jane Adoko Mensa be electoral commissioner no depends on this election. To one kasa no na dwuma di ana na dwuma is on the line. Na visa me na metia ade yesi me adantamu referee ana menim se abei ekokoto ba bia se ye maye me hu yi wan hwa me dwuma die ye beje afiri mi se mu a office die na obeye Jacobna. Electoral Commission and kasa na wo check history. Young of voting before 1968. Now local government and then organize elections. My that time Kafan say na any year ka material mensa kosa and eba organize election. My guardian go be. And then the man pinche ba ya ye beti committee na ye wura seremo da no a okachire yen say e was nya independent institution. The also mu nyina so organize credible, fair and honest elections. Say you know so my yeditu say omo eyenkofo a boni ni omo ye fair ka fi ze benya party agents. I didn't think also here party agents. At the quantity was a electoral commission printing papers and was see my agents called that printing press. E go dia agora ye be forward ni ase. Now that you need anybody to tell you say we mo nya ombe di boni. Yet the electoral commission I'm a catch of the bia say suku bia obekwa ya true say speak English bia no omon kabrofo but what are kabrofo then aka true say speak English. Electoral commission statement that obey should be we are credible, we are honest. Obi obeka say I am credible, all two who be on credible. Because we are credible won sanu nyuma ene be do achi. All the upper statements are issue from October to date. They be we are carrying to the sense of what question further. Ako ye advert. Almost your friend, yes, your advert, yes, almost him so much credible. So they are forcing the Ghanaian to accept some credible. Abraham Monsano Numa entesa. Yatia ana pusiga. Ubitra sanarigo. Ene Tamale Central or transfer vote ko ho abra dem kofo ni ho ye ko he o mo se na your friends the program be your friend liveliness in you want to move to me yes so question me bu sound say how many of such programs then you want to be MPP for no aboil them and then the answer has been provided to me right here by me Amadeko was the MPP there obu pe Electoral Commission match come to be borrow ma me dam no ma ko ndina ko hye na won change your catch so to answer at any given time ma body o
ba ni fear na so mo ko yi so office
na ben that one who I pack me to send people raise issue da wo try baby no I pack meeting beba wo ko the last time wo say any as independent candidate so be better of fear catch you say e check cross and ye my voter register ni bi entina de ye ne say afani raise issues ni ya interrogate issues so say apabi wo mu a abra NDC for raise say voter register ni na pusiga bibie sisa no ye ko I pack meeting dia nya na omoka MPP say omdom you okay with the ekoso ana omunya sing along for apaloni nkofo ibia yo kwado be statistical gymnastics also na 50,000 with the voter population 18.7 na divide in also in accounting no 0.000 negligible just na bi mo no wonim so obi win less you kromo a or less than 3 we need that
near P6
even presidential obi less than 50,000 30,000 we need that so on what basis na obia wako ko 100,000 1 billion titisika say wa usika na ye ba be wia na say odonfo bi wo ye ma your friend say voter register ni bi when to me am mo na ya nko ekira go say boni bi obi aye am emu da ho fan ya wo de you have a problem with that person na NPP for so atiase am na wo si me mra ha metena say me yidom ya mba wi na papers no nye we nko abebre o matwetwa bebre gu ba bi. But the message Ghana for you and they said this election is about your future. Because the way you know, may they be a candidate, yeah, they may be there oral and say he's very moderate. Because when you this of Maya, your IMF, international money market, you block to us. Your sounds what defer your payments be your twice that. And into
absolutely.
To hear obi a oye level headed.
Absolutely.
Yes sir. We see 2025 na pressure be saba. Wona obi akodi ni bone no. We dey ba be si so ba ye na wonya hwe. Enso bone no gofo ye die wie. Na na akufo do ni ba omia. O ma say o my way. Let us be truthful to ourselves.
Absolutely.
What was here? Then our video all of a sudden you see ye twitwa mem ofo ba bia eno me ko fatema. Tema motor runabout no yakofa nkofo gu a anapa nwe omo sisa ko tagu ye pre wako ka te for what why you aduma he nim so why you aduma but I cannot think for a moment say ma me na owo takaba okoto akoda no 300 cities no represent of Maya develop me to me tiase say and as sentiment mo nipa almost 1 million ye do makoka ohia bracket no represent growth. And Mabuna any Juma Sabi any your facility me and my university ebinum they have to do hookups to survive. Over terms of minor development. What are we talking about? Over area over face and it's young chichamanko for young tobia na yen fan baby about your mistake and a past 7 a.m. so baby by 7:05 over 2 and I'm on here.
Now then I bear
because you see a done of one agents there is no law catchers who do go down heavy. That's accountants especially more minimum contact when you brofu and contact monko hoping heavy.
So what can you say? You want to say we are all preaching peace.
Which one is the peace?
Say you can say be a obi obe na you so be we no short time no but na mo say no. The mra na ye adwuma. Mra no. Enu ti na so je ni bi owo achiase commander no koka say wo a obe ba no obe ye no obe bo na asefo no is like ye ne colonel aboje kra kasa no say and sister yes sir and as a law enforcement agency no we enforce law. You don't break law. It is a say we law enforcement agency how can so be ba bo na emra ma kwansa wo so na say etu kwanu ya ko anti wo so kan say dia
me common name
obi be ko
ya so
emra na yedi adwuma dura so je mra di
Vigilantism Act 999 samra na wom so ko to so bi di boni amommo na mommoano mommoano
na some moana moanko na
ye moana te fasira e woto na wo na de ti o se bo ti say yi nyina ye to aba wo de wo wadwini mo ba be fa ballot box e de akodi obi di a wa makọ temperature mo de ba omi ade akọ temperature e ba be si o
ade ta kapo bo
yeti ha ana abranche TV so ase o ti so o ye produce presenter yi ye fe no hene ba esiedu o so o ka peace asem beboa peace say justice ni mo there is no peace the mo ko ye won no is 2 by 4 peace industry forget about it abranche akọ TV so basically catch your money in say in spite of a car NCC Ibo Electoral Commission Ibo educating conforce that to abano on the 7th of December no one no TV so no catch conforce abano you better impre no you better omo de number 1 to 7 no on the first day near area number 8 to 13 just rural and chemati that 13 no na ye yine firi o wadwene woni tin
so yes press conferences have some no kan yan
na I didn't time na tin police train over here
na say ni
agwai ai professor yi ko tue sika pudio wa ejo so aye friend no dey na ato no electoral officers e ko dey bribe no e dey na ato wo mo abante ya o ye pusiga transfers yi e dey na ato no dey ko fa your friend say DVA yi o mo check akoma lunatic bi wo insawom and you take it for granted okonsawo mu adwagira go and check the vote difference between Anodompe and the NDC candidate the last time. And so one na can a comfortable live for MPP no vote difference rate reduce up to 3,000. That's a maybe could be video machine or constituency most can do anything. What are we talking about? Anything any does have war. Esa say ye did say Ogbon Chamate will make history in this country as being the first independent candidate. Ye koto abano no krom ne kind 1 obe wini. The only way NPP betumi survive with this election and it's on baby and it's on catch us almost 1 million ways of winning the election ways in a ways and means ways omo nyina amemu no and obi also ya adwuma baako and the crowd you mutumi the crowd dem won se embre obi ke ti wa se diba omi anwa dance no wa betu aka wo mu say wo no wo ye neutral pa na dia be show say we campaign na presenter that so no mama na MPP ni by force ora ba omi say my digitalization ye bedie what has digitalization got to do with banku ye die banti ye dia the digitalization way
say the technology by
ayi technology ye ti ko mo technology o digitalization na e ke bubu ko twa ye internet emu hono and the internet ya shate ya hwe papa ya no adum ni phone digital man go and solve the problem for it digital mahira on my digitalization yahoo ufa mechire ya fadama boy see yahoo woni clue about any digitalization in his life the tia wo ba ye bedi ya so according to the nekufo do say one only that third class in economics but on ye PhD holder in economics or ba be so man yama ye interest rate inflation cedi to the dollar be bia conform at the time a war ba 2016 na inflation 15.4 but omiana the year eso ye economic risk say Oxford trainer say he know ye kwa dey say ye call ya person eme kwa ya dey say and a 22% inflation. How can you convince me? We are mathematics that 15% any 22%. And at that time I said 15%. It was crazy. Say be inflation of 15.4%. All quite the didn't calculate 54%. And so the back 15%. And then CD to the door. I don't know say after the assembly call card was Ghana for to about more and to say hey, almost say the exchange rate of 1:17 you know west no and this is the west than India so why yet to say the nya na mo wo mu de when the people mind Ghana ni pedi obema nkrashe wo so de oba wan nya na mo wo mu de na nya kra. How can we leave this country like that? And no na ho akohia say enkofu peso mu di wia ben na inshanka saforade din ena no pay say ene Ghana for no say omo mpini o tom ama mu wia ben abawo ye beto nya kan no 11 ye be wie no ye be wuni alan na munyina wo de na se abekan ho amia build a government of national unity.
me da say so Solomon Owusu na yete ne kana memra yaw so yaw me pese ye de ye concentration ko yisi so esan sa omo na dan fifi ai nim se be ye se nye ye ai ye wo mo na say service ahodo de e ba ye be fa yisi hu che say amafo gidi omo yisi mu no na o percentage bi se atia about 35%, which is very low. And can say basanka atia ba fam kana na be 70% wo kra dia e betu aka say be boa ye pa enti say e no kre say no kre say sa trust no aba fam no 35% no and 36% mpo a ye de no to nchen a ye hwe no motu ahodo a akoso a bepim sa abiri the EC itself as a credible institution say no more can person mo election be free, transparent and fair. Sanse ma ho do me sen fam ensa no ade budo ye pa. Na ene we ochina we ochinachi we ochinachi ni achi na we sanse ma bubo ba nyina de be kopim enu ade ye sie ya enu ade na sie no me fam no because it is strange to me. Esa sadia no ahoma me esa de bom enti ahoma me esa nya hwe kora na se bia ye piano mpo na yanka ba kon krante na so ba kon ate mienu ate miasa ni nyina ate enti se na nyina koso a na the credibility of yisi no e wa he can we trust the yisi esa so omo ka se bibia ni wo bibia be free and fair empanyi se bibia ni nsemu a wo bo awusa ama kwada entity wonsa achi enti eno eye bibia ye betumi ahwe na ye de ho nkom na bi se de ekoba nyina no e ya de betumi aboa na ma bato ebeto na beko na wi asomdwe so a basabese bia nkonkoba na abeji yisi na di na obi di nkunim se madi nkunim na obi di kugum se madi nkugwa na yaw ajamma 15 minutes
me da say
ye beko eyi so enche
mate me da say je di kan mechanic say the more I listen meet politicians no mate say the entire NGEC ndi because utie MPP NDC ne movement for change omu nyina agitum say opposition now wa mo anya na ho a we dey for anya say which is sabi omu nyina kuta to me except for era Alan in terms of presidential he's an independent person right mpachama minkamase but even so if we grant waka MPP who paying and that's a factor the reality say mu nyina no mujitum say EC wa mo anya na I say twetwetre bia so ayana and no na hona nkomo no certificate se bi minim se mitwetre wo da ayana mitwa oti a efunti meda na say mani tita ona mabutu o yenu aba ne ka asem bi which I want to start from or say it opposition wajuma was o ya na indies for you no and I think that is a good recognition say I was saying NDC for more money that whole everybody in opposition wajuma ne say obehwem I'm making sure say bibia betoye but the question I will ask in as much as say a good recognition sana was say banner na unfortunate say your partisanship say on mine and ejade bia meka wa ha sebi ekra values and high trust ejumano technocrats work not because me a party and me a party be the ethic of my profession no edi manim chen say me ye bibi abo party and party be eja me the EC nyina de ha me pa na ochi so mo be ma nipa ngotwe pe radio stations ngotwe pe and na aye me the omaye besi ene no for me and metna ho bisa no say den nya mpanyifon fan chame se man kan ni but adwen ben na wo eche sebi who nyans ane den efi 92 ana sebi the okuta tuo etu nipa ese oye democracy ne kra no ya nkase ebesi media ho kwan ohwe your constitution is very very clear 162 freedom and independence of the media obia intimi share media so say me metna me office abo nipa ngotwe din say nipa ngotwe pe na ye be ma omon kwan wo collation room no 8 media houses and 12 are the original.
How are they going to select?
Omo ya pilot. how are they going to do it is the question. But they've said it.
Penia or Dan, one no and a bet recommend.
Can you imagine? Absolutely.
And the Padua, Nipa 2, yeah, radio back.
No media, no newspaper, no online portal. I said, I drink Ben that
reason here.
I like your reaction to it. It said, if you are a credible referee, overball na say nipa 1,000 na baba behwe bia eno fa ho ben referee wo de say obi atwa obi ahwere ya foul na we referee now say ball we dey be born wo kokoa mu nipa nwotwe pe eno kra nipa nwotwe me na me exercise me discretion aka say one ekon eno esa na mumu mehwe bi. Why do you okofa we beto ho so yeden? How do you invite all of this skepticism into they make politicians not be brave. For me, but they have me. And some of my whether it's broken seal or not. Bibi have me say almost in the pan or chair or moon be and the back and no. I mean to ask you. Minya, I think say for me, particularly Minya about the beside say quite ben or be fast or obey. We do not know the obey nipa ngwatwe no na sebi okofa an MPP aligned and na say NDC aligned that ubere no waka nipa ngwatwe no so na yesi a coalition center omoba no omoka say na te a e wo se nyina ya fa ne sa adwen ben na den o sorry anopa den na besi wutima o ka say abato we die nipa ngwatwe pe na me mo kwan say omo media for omo mehwe abanimu intiaja as to whether or not some we are credible or otherwise over the years our democracy is survived but politicians no nim say we've also gotten to the brink of this nation. In 2008 we were at the precipice. 2016 now because now gap no so dodo and we are the day gap no so obi anim dia ba we be right. But the point is, they here and yet EC which invites unnecessary speculations. Yeah, funny say any voltage in Kwana shortages by because any voltage in Kwana. So what the referee a whole long Kwana sebi Accra or class 1 mistake or by no do class 6 no yeah one way out ubono cry as on your back. Sa brewe enya bra ye koya hwe yisi afi na wo so bibia hwe ase unkunta no unu se higher 10 na wo print 10. This is not the time. This is not the time. And I think say obisa say whether they are credible, free and fair. The mechanic say nyema bebre aha dream besi na that I think say obi susu say there may be malice untimi fault in the because there has been nyama bebre or what akwa besi na say na me make no their politicians make no ya dey here omo but me as a somebody who is interested in our democracy say obema nipa nwotwe pe na akọ monitor no wo na obeyi nipa nwotwe no besi na omunya nyi ensensan ye dey omo say omo ni media for news so
o ba ama say no ababeto dwa say owura tete e dey lecture babontin say because asam na babontin no ama focus ade fa ho anti no yisi no age atum say as a listening commission as a listening commission normal listing nso mo listing we no and omo ne GJ ene
yes nso mo susu ho
anti say no mo according to yisi no omo ma accreditation about 4,500 say the be bitumi aboa
we da be
we enra Electoral Commission has announced that the number of
you see
accreditation to cover initially no not the almost suggested say you been about 3,308 and that is some that 4,500
now one kwa na memo of Africa everyone no munya say 4,000 even Yemfan say Obama accreditation total of 4,500 how many polling stations na yawo how many collation centers? The American say so. Obia or media mubia constitution is very clear on press freedom. Metiasie sebi pese afrafrafo ene omo obeba be to trust them but once the person is a credible media person the end where also see the whole coin so obeba reported the election and for me no saying American no we the different events now and no na which is my problem and I'm happy to say I will say at least they will increase the numbers but election election nankasa no enye event o eye process nti o start back no register no wa keep voters no exhibition process ni nyina no na ebe ka bom me akasa we credible and now onye credible enye the end no sabi yakotwere so ha de obefeli no feli free die start in school enye die yakotwere so ha no feli so her na twere ne de ne modern bo ewo de oye school dem no nti e ba no atwa efa nye so her no da na twere so her no na ma ne feli e o feli e da e ba school na amanfo so ade na no mada no sa abre no o feli so her no nti Jamaica said there has been considerable problems over the time but me solace ne say and I said dem de she me hun cry ne say e kamia say asem ne ba some of them you see is very courageous to say yeah anya ye ya hwe ya ni anya na foforo and misusu say eno ya adepa to the extent say obejo phone so atum na waka say oh ade we there ye ni say ne be ye dia nke beboa no sa ade no na misusu say ebeboa ye nti empe bebre no ohwe nsem na nsem ni bia anko ye de but isi akoko dro ewo fa ba bi so obeje ne phone so atum no waka say oh manye we ye anase we touchma nti yenye ne foforo no misusu say that is something we must encourage them but what we cannot afford say yebeko abana wie ni e kan bom ni ye no asaka say oh masai mistake foforo because about we can't afford any mistakes. Into mistakes now, my magia tomorrow, my correct no. Ya paumocho aka nanson. This election is so important. We cannot afford another my mistake for being. Into besi ne mistakes or my in the past no. Yes, Eko no. They should act as professionals. Say we are professional and for when they say your own biases. We are professional. What matters? They say overall, no, the ethics of your profession. No, now you deal fairly with all manners of person. And now only depending on better na say obi asebi we are technocrat. We are what you must say. We are doctor. Oko doctor in China. Doctor and MPP ni no here NDC. Or he obi oyaribia. Oko lawyer ha. On kasa we are MPP ni and now we are NDC ni. We are Macy ni now we are Juma. And yet it's not a question of me see Dina me see me ye because we are NDC ni and we are MPP ni. The fidelity we are accountant the fidelity to the profession. I am sebi technocrats. The ethics and the values in here kind of sebi obabi away. Obi chair bibi at the abwane party because senya yenya ne kan yenya so local no. Wo fa baby no ye bi mo join party at the pet to me said omo wan kasa de be ye omo bieye. Nese omo de be ye omo ye. Nti for a lot of people, self-preservation and self-interest.
Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. But could be if I'm going to see, I say, we say from so my year and no my year, no. You can say BB at an enconcusi. Then see, I'm a bear Moses and say, what kaya in 2020 election? Say, I say, you said that name the exact figure. And what you see, a gazetted figure. Ya de chese eno na asome se didi nkunim anaso bentin edidi nkugu enti se bibisa wo na sa ade no konkon ho na sa mfom so akase no e wo ho na bisan ba to so ababedru bebi ewe na se utie all chances ahodo bi nso bi asam na ba na mo ka commissioners ni bi nsem on beka se de ade na mo ka se voter region ko na nya other regions and blah 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 this and some no enye bibi e be man say these people are not ready for change bia e bi so na because e bi no so yema ne buru sinti no e ma yisi no kasa fe kwa de ma bre mo de na motete me sa eno so ye betumi afa no besi ma mienu bi
eja de dika ni say oye yisi a untimi nka say wa bro bia because sabi wadwuma no wadwuma ni say uye bibi no wa anye ni ya also I was saying nipa all the parties ewo ho kwan say omo because sabi oye referee ball no mo bi nti de obobo ni bi no na said dia so obeka say referee ma wani na ho na ya ade ni ye nti untimi nka say wa bra obi ana say untimi nka say mo kasa dodo nti afa there on the 2020 question no yakho court court is decided. Into media, I will take it conclusive. Yes, were there some mistakes? Yes, there were some mistakes in even some of the numbers. But baby, I think NDC had an opportunity to be in court. Court Ebua. And I don't think, for example, the court's decision was wrong based on the evidence. I thought the decision of the court was in line with law.
Okay.
In terms of mistakes, whether or not that mistakes invalidates the legitimacy. And that's Obroni Beka said 2020 about when mudro and they say it reflected means to say the results delegitimizes the 2020. Okay. But it's still a cautionary tale, and I say, I also NDC for any movement for change. Ni owa ka nyina mo mani da ho say some mistake ne NCBM, including MPP. Sebi, and I think MPP what they've done well from 2012. They say, omo atimi collect omo answer the end to me no many results, and it's almost always accurate. I hope so. Omo maka nyina would invest in collating their own results.
Okay.
To say media and also some of the media houses are very credible in terms of UTV Mehamo dashboard are beautiful. We are hoping say parties any media would all invest in say mubenya source documents, paying sheets, mubenya the real primary data from polling stations and constituencies and then by the end
okay.
Because there will be clear evidence.
Okay.
Say at the forefront.
Me da say we dey osima ba bi no miensa ye be cha kakra ebere no swade but I hope say ye betumi edi sam komo kakra the fourth the eighth parliament in some ahodo asisie ye ka se be ka fie kira be pem be bi aduro ne ya ebere no be tenten dodo ye hwe de asie say yedi kan atwe speaker I can say yetu aseda ayenim da ebe pesa ba bio majority eden krata akoy say speaker sanfre na yemra na yemeye yi court nsem aba mu nyire hu ni nyina ena eno so omfre ya ebi ko ebi anko ena esentu sheda anya de enim da ebe san afre enkrata asan akobio say yensan enfre na parliament nsamre bio ana speaker say me hwe bre no a aka ene bre beto aba na esua parties awodo ni nyina nso aye wo mo itinerary o maye o hye dada enti no sa na enu eye ya wada ni fiada aye no na nko mewie no obi aye campaign enti sa mo babaka ebe affect mo program schedule ne nyama hodo enti no ye nhwe ne ento aba ni wie ye to wie a 8 parliament ne begu a on the 7th of January ene begu enti from 8 corner na ebetumi atena se na ensamo da di ko nyina no etumi akodi ho abobo na se ba ko a owura fanyama ken eden krata bai no na kwa ma ese mu nyina aka bom ye to adwene na etumi bu ama perepere etumi ba but send the letter bi aba bonte na so asa aba kan sam say speaker fa parliament say ne japade so no de kwaso yi wo di say eboa yen esan say asam no ye pense ye be ko bankuro ye be to adwene na so biatumi aba enti so ojambomba ha adwene be in mind say onu korea so kan say majority position no e be boda fide enti say majority position e boda fide dia and the next speaker so ka say onu so fa parliament so no ani fie japade bi o ye wonjun wo de nyina anye pe
afenyo Marcus Wama speaker enimu agu asese oye se NPP na majority party
me ma 5 minutes whatever
it says 137 no ebi so sin bi the speaker na oye se NPP ye majority no ene no o use tia ne ebio speaker enye speaker Bagbena kama yem se jadem ono na behave maturely it says the ekoko be nyina fenyo tumirika ko Supreme Court so if is speaker so be tintin parliament kwa ya yem free bi kura ya wie no 70 no de wo mu nyina ne se saa emfrena na afenyo fresen ko won san betena se na de pa na ye kakeka no
so say bills a whole about 22
a
budget kura
22
budget ya de be twia dwuma for ka first quarter no kura so
emudie na se ya pass ya Ghana ni bewu emudie ye kwa akoma tax exemption ye ne tikrumo ye si enya to on fan develop ye ko IMF am ye tro ye na nankansa ho history azan ye tam ye om se de 3 billion ne kura in tranches now wo de otikrumo a wo se companies and gebetumi etua to am ye de aboa ye development no ye nko ma ho about $350 million we enye mo na mo fa kira koje mo sha e de bi na beka yes free SHS ye kwako ye ko yemra policy be na ba betumi aye implement okromu a emranta atwo betumi spend on so what abane e ka che ne say free SHS from 2017 ye implement be sin no illegality afin ye ko pass homra e dey agency pa ni wa bra wa wo ya we say mra bia nta atwo okro ye constitution and article 25 e bon bra and the say no kura bi ani me na me hu no say nka parliamentarians ne ba 2029 ta komu si akiri akowiam afena BVD machines ne ko obekọ no wachi aye pasa
sana hu
oh yeah sana che wa na wo bi no wantie bi
so to we make so to me
na me ka e go for che na ayi radio audio so obi ka say electoral officers am1 money enwini election electoral officer be dey no aboa mo wini election apart from so be NPP parliamentary aspirant and yes all the abase enyo no kromo ade sa
Dr. Tip
doku
ted
and ne emu down say clear wedding cash about 30 million 300 million cities and 30,000 omama komadi omonye no mu wie na oba ba mu a wasa be family mi ni sika e de 300 million balance na de akososo cha fenyo so mombra na to even call parliamentarians around this time let's say the all catch as a parliamentarians the omo ya ne say omo ba ombe sample ye de si onyina you know why 22 bills are all presented. So officer parliamentarians eba be ye meticulous job afa bill bia akomuye hu esunsun so a sa 2 days no ebetuma so aye wadwuma we. Now in any case parliamentarians no emu duduo se na aba ye na so eni aba be che ensem cross parliament yi say ye call parliament say na esie constituents wadwene ne say me okakwe south na me MP da kwa on free dwada oto ono ana dwum na ko parliament na ko jetu who told us I support sa tax exemptions no because to me no efriye ne ho eniti the papa mu no wo MP no the esi o parliament nyina no obeba be bodwa aka in fact before cross kasa be we bo be ko ho no oba be bodwa se ko parliament a sa nwema we ede yanim mwadwene ne say tese omode omo wo mo kwa ko jetu na in any case bills na ye pass ye no kra no o ma bani wasabi me no ka say tumutumi e da de bill e table so emu akwadidie emma ya emu akwadidie emma ya ye ja wo mo ko ya saiba ye parliament atena se afa through all the process akoye ye friends family values bill ye de ye local you know and na ya na ye ma me na mtiase turumu a ye de akosoma ade na sabi o on person be tiadi di yo
sound the same kan
san ya na ngofo di LGBTQ+ no more confusion ngofo okromu a eno no the table so we dey one sign no my ni ehu say parliamentarians ni ye adwuma na obesan na o ye one sign wo say ye go evufo eno kra bi anim de wo mu nyina ne say speaker wa ya de say wa makwan ma afenyo na MPP no so omo tumi aba parliament in the bill 2025 na afenyo mo say mo consider for leadership position when new leadership here, you see, Parliament and your consensus. I don't believe so. Also, overwhelming majority. If I say any part to crown from the opposite side, you need them. You need their input. This business of Yen Yakuta majority, and by extension, it must be disabused. What was here? Not yet a funny to me, yet, Jumano, not a year about on mine. Had your parliament here, social pass officer, yeah, oral and Chamantia as the president, as an independent president, better than a sango for me, no matter Yajuma, come 2025. A job them say, do. But then you know, before say, yeah, queen, Myanmar or more or man hondo. Enko parliament enko fo ekoto aba so enyina sa ade we so empam enko fo bebre free parliament na omo fo mo betumi agye adwuma no odom nkabom emfa omo mra na intumi koye no
me da say yaw what am about so na yen hwe word omo use say consensus building say ye hwe sa consensus building ya wasam abeka ene woni ye ene ba ma agye atum so wasemesi kura fun me na opese yede ye ho bone che etinkabo mu emra etinkabo mu na eba no me kasa me matuma no nareka makoka nse bia de oha betumi aba wo hwe de cause the banter between men kan say between po the owura fadwuma kins aka the first speaker recall mind you say before all the way beba no ba ko no mo frey mo koye no o man ko ama speaker tena se ama mo etu di shebre a o to be fan shame the reason speaker de buy any afunyu asama so be ka biu e de fa speaker hono I sure say he's ready for consensus building say so look say leadership and say that enkoye no sana hunu na say edu baby e say on so na see from say na be a e ba perepere yetumi aba you have 5 minutes
eja me da say eja my campaign and Messi Subiem say this 2020 election nya 137 no omo no mo gidie pa or parliament na me number 1 because Mrs. Su say afei there sabi ye the party sem ne baba form na nyina ya tena se ne aka se Ghana adwumani me ne nyina ya ntena se ne andwen Ghana ho ne nyina ya so de ye ma Ghana mu I've been very disappointed but so I think it's been a very good parliament because obia shada nya no ho kwan enye the ope without the other person stopping him eja sabi so okwa hemfia answer no hene bekasa no obia beka ne de no hene atie obia de answer na ohina oyeka menka bi no ono kra no oti obia de and then and so kasakra o chami agina chiri no chami asone asema ohine kanimu to make sure it reflects their himfo nyina kan ye I think say ye nyina ye tie say ye structure ne ye sociology ni say ne city as a people no say bi o MPP ne NDC ni movement for change any wherever on mine di enkan a ye nyina ye besusu on mine ho and then of course adwene nyina nkom momusa we would disagree but ye more mine see anima nyema bebre wo ho the partisanship yen recall of parliament yen anu butaze what are the issues number 1 issue say commercial tax exemptions I completely disagree completely disagree legitimate say the ebia kwan empay bi wo ho you can incentivize certain industries to grow but means so say on my way baby away abra your debt in 2026 yenim kwan e be fa say betua no whoever wins this election money na da on my way is in serious problems and it's not because if MPP wins they should still understand say the bigger problem your principles in 2026 not dollar net resign by 2026 why the betua say sika no yakofa wan on my way no the issues and yes I think be me MPP ni me NDC ni sebi Professor Martin Ekan or Ghana for Anyansa for way right this is the time I was in Yesuka say I beg of you for party sem not to change because this nation is collapsing intellectual consensus I mean Mrs. say going into the next parliament going into the next whoever wins this election also the decline say sa party sem no yen tiso ni ehunu ni say baby o man ni wono say bi afani fan kan enche say baby for me fan ko enti say me party ne and you are my opponent there be bia say be migina bonten and na meju so go tent mu there say wom no e say na me so migina nchan aye be mama baby nti de obeye bia anye wo mu so a de owa bonten beka bia anye e ba me say school ben ye call ya even the most sophisticated of us who have PhDs are still partisan school me call ne say e ba me say na with the party yengina ye be go school get ye be chair say ye be si adwen afa and yet some way somehow me mama panyi bi di nkom o se sebi ye de baby ofi no ye de aponche kwa be so a enye it's not 4 years ago obeto ama no right and fa ho eja eba ne say ena loyalty to parties has led to our own enslavement ye ya be nkwa because sebi me party be bia no me pe mi musa ne hwe mi manu nkan wo hwe they won't account to anything inti send me a party ba t-shirt pen here me inti I become a slave to my own party inti the bottom line of what I'm saying is going into the next parliament going to the next governance no ye hunu ne say send a mekan ohina oye ka bi mami okabia obi a nka bi no send aye nananom tie no mpo ohine tenase a benkunu ne bekasa nifa hene bekasa chidom bekasa sana bekasa obia bekasa no hene asoni mu no aka no hene kampo a chemi gina ne nchen no hene dia beka bia o chemi asa refine no that is a system that we know but if you are na for fight tifin yenyina we've been built yen dwini mom na yensusu mom na sa party se ma etete entem ne de media ade bi ha mi okrom apa e sebi animdifo ne anyansafo sebi o aton ma dwene ama party krata e ha me pa
okay me dan say akase mankono ama me mo se manum na ya hwe minimum sem na mo aba mu enti government business mo na sese mo hwe na etumi ya adwuma ti se obi o se obre ne ho ase a ebetumi akase bia ma mo na akase bia mo bebre mo ho ase sense mo na mu hia asem na meka mo na mu hia se parliament be sha ya adwuma na etumi aboa na nema ekoye ne wo mu se ya ka ma na dubra bi ba bibia akokọ banie se ko ba se mu leader e ka se speaker afa parliament is on one ni fie ajapade bi oye ho adwuma aye reconciliatory aye bibi eboa amasa consensus bill ne yaka wasem na betuna aye adwuma esa se bill ni hia ban na ban so di aye adwuma ba mi ti osima enum na fi yenko
yes our parliament we dey omo asem majaika
sir
50 day 1 6th January 2021 and almost started on drama me from drama parliament
na di drama
sa dalo obi kukure konya e de bo ne yonko obi sisa paper seriye obi di second twitwa ne yonko parliamentarians o
obi di bibi twa
obi di okay sorry obi di bibi etwa me real fit die fi se na be TV e chi na me hwe me nua mema no papa mpanyimfo ohun nipa ye buo mo ebinim wo kwa me ya akwala na me hu se omo TV so na obi ekukura konya na obi ye chesi na wafa ballot papers mfie naini me dia fit se ada na me hu se abayire omo de drama ya tremu ye kwa ya wie ya nanse omo de amo ya de nkwala ni ekonya na edisi mfimfiri na ye kwa round musical chairs we ya tremu ya konya so me nko na me konya na meti ha kese me dwi mabre omo
what did you say ye ko ise ko ba ne say ko the next year the ninth parliament
NC sa parliament eight parliament we
ye konya the same thing NC say
ni ye gina ye hu ni ye gina ye de ni ye hu MPP for ya determine say ye maninsi me ye sure say this for so ayo mo adwin so mo so mpre wo to aba ma president kro person obedia to aba ma ne parliamentary say ye hu hwe me break asa o ka say ye sa eight parliament yi bai ono de no owo hope ni ono pe Ghana for bebre no mu hope say anya pa ifimfini a ye ba akopɛ na ditami die ene ye nua mema na ye nua ma no be akotena ho na agya say me no choice mo be ye na ma ye adwuma ene ye ne hwe uko data mu a sa 8th parliament we omo na omo nya adwuma compare 7th parliament compare 6th parliament omo na ne ye wo clear majority no omo tena se ne ya ye adwuma we ebe obi mu a osimatu kwan because onim say oni ho ayeto aba nye yi nti MPB timi fa ne bag no ko na to aban ne ye pacho and this for so timi titsum na and this for dinachi. I mean, why do you want to put the parties and the government through that? Whichever government. Me them used to say Dr. Bahomia government. But government be and person go through this. Aka 7 days.
Yeah.
Me akotwaba.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstance. Yeah, find the same way a BNC. The last parliament, the same parliament no.
Yeah, but no more to move your campaign today.
It's me senior. And I'm a penny after your markets. Me na me busa what is the reason? Say omumra. Because me kai say party general secretary throw letter. Say MPs ni no bi anko.
Bi anko the constitution.
Enti me hwa say assuming MPs omo wo bono. O ka say won free bono at this time.
2 days.
Emra no we asan yakọ.
22 bills.
Ensi awuntimi. By now, Obia or winning or for re-election. Hita, a general son. May my Edma or MPs campaign with down. Some may just say, Obia. It is a magazine and China. Just I mean, I really don't see the whole parliament in my brain.
It's one in the same.
Me pentam. Nankai, Baba, sa particular.
Only sound when you need so the leader, Mr. Usu said, the leadership skills and also this question.
I don't know the reason. I don't know the reason why I'll not cast on Mumra.
Okay.
Yes, government business is important. When your leadership skills are some. Say or they be there too hono. Speaker say train yen to aba. To be an conquer election. After 7th no. Na from mo ba mo pa after 7th no mo ba mo nya adwuma. Nyame adom e be du ho ne ehu ne over the next parliament. TM TV the adwuma ni nyina egu ho. The next parliament ba. No ye hu adwuma.
All right.
Honestly because a government say ye ma bresa parliament we no nyame anim. Enye no a che say hwi nkumi say paper here we need table and kunya na papa mpanyufo fa na nanse ya musical chairs na ye call round ukokan yes hey me amase omo ne me akon me nuanom on my side me akon da say me kwaka so me kindergarten for and this for so ne me akon say me so omo behave to say at primary school children no since a parliament we dey busuan for me srew ukoto aba me menda presidential candidate awoto amana Dr. Bahomia no ato MPP ni no. Now you buy a declare majority. Ya this is a situation where you pay bill. Ni ase akonya MPP ni bi obeto abama NDC speaker. Ene ye ne.
Parliament is controlled by the other side and government. If the president
you don't get my point. Say if president to Kubenya. Na the opposition party and the parliament as I said numbers no great
but then you see it's a consensus the key issue is also consensus
numbers na who bet me adwuma no the president or the presidency would have to come and negotiate with parliament and it's one in between way there
I taking it from there
5 minutes.
8th parliament. 5 there you not been fair.
My fair.
8th parliament enye bone. And let me also admit to say ama adis ama make a crap. Especially knowing say he's not even for the position of Apenyo Markins, you know. While this army make a crap and it is a plus, especially when you conclude they say o kwa kotoaba utu yezua. No at where yes. It is possible on this, you know. You see, you asked my question be a non-person obey answer because I appreciate it's a difficult question to answer. Sure. 8th parliament we a chance, you know. as you said, were like, okay, let's see what comes out of this. We as politicians can never determine what Ghanaians will give to us to work with. One more moto abano, and number mao parliament to kura The first thing is to respect them, recognize them, and work with that. When to me, that is where we miss a point. You know, when to me, now the opposite, so you tinity, they me panel, I'll railroad it. Whatever somebody said, you have a problem with the 8th Parliament. Mami Shebi said, Parliament is a master of its own rules. Number one thing, yana anyeneho say you be to me in your Parliament ebe hang 137.
Yes.
Speaker in his own wisdom, and before that, Speaker was able to win because some people in NPP believe say he's the best person and not Michael Kwe. And no who say even with the state of the hang Parliament, you know, people will use their reasoning, not party lines, not whatever. On that same trajectory, you know, appointments for approval of ministers. And then this Yanka say, Mamu approval, Mamu say. They went there, used their own discretion, so say in Crawford or what the role they play in Parliament, you know. Some use gender issues, some use other issues. Were we not angry as NDC? But we lived it. Etosumi, now make us about the speaker. Also, okay, yeah, 137. As I say, Parliament, no economy. Okay, one no wahano. Also, I say, otena minifaso. Into sobetena minifaso. Let's adopt something. We never had something called a majority group and a minority group. This is the first time that you introduce here. Say the who's okay. What had here? Or a group back or a majority. It is not in the standing orders, neither is it in the constitution or anything. But it was adopted for the management of Parliament. You see, in Penifo Eka say, Senframa edi hu padia onya. And no afenyo markings. In the first place, they now ye swearing in of Parliament and again what happened? NDC contem ya continue speaker right majority. Ya say white you both say what happened? Or say chairman sending the group by no. Ombetina speaker left. Ye kasa ye proceedings ye to abaye we bibia no. He went to negotiate. Minority near speaker in opinion. The way a parliamentarian say anyone for your nine in Siwa, say nebeye. Ye ne your friend is saying Haruna Grisumo and Kasa. Na yen take your place. Na almost maha after all. But Kwabeka our friend minority group in here. I need to get no argument. And a Haruna mo side etia say. The next sitting Obi Antoshe yete Benkum MPP ete. We have had difficult bills like that. Yanka say you approve the increase of VAT and idea. But at the end of the day, you call ye kwako vote, you know. VAT was passed. And it's not also true say Parliament we enye juma. Parliament aye juma pa. But there has been, your friends, a controversial issue, sir. Obia are standing on his or her grounds and position. And you see, the problem that we are facing today is a leadership who is not ready to negotiate. A leadership that thinks they can railroad their way or have their way.
A leadership I refer to.
Abenuwakin's leadership. And to some extent, it is Nana Danko Kuvado's leadership. And no, any idea I don't blame the Parliament. Because Obi and you walk out Obakoji na say Yanto Neswaba. Now he doesn't have Ghana at heart. Nobody. Even those in MPP, they believe say they can add something to a friend is saying the growth of Ghana. I don't believe say Obi Beba Parliament say Oba say. But you see, and Sakura would be Shiano no. eno enechere how the person reacts to you. Mpenifo sa kwada bonwa omo achichide. Say ye ka speaker, the experience of speaker adentina afenyo markings. The first time I obabe recall it parliament. Gidi or the signatures and recall it parliament. Or the Oma sign because the law says say unya your friend is saying 15% you can recall parliament. Or the signatures unya ye. And on the call here, ababe to speaker you know he has to come. And no frey. Ofrey so mu recall it parliament no mu then the church na and I said, no, or Freya and Kamobeba. So if you know today, say a man or horse bet me the 15%, I recall it parliament. Now, what you sue and no, what stopped you say? First time I say, you recall it parliament, no, one who speaker and country speaker say, speaker, your bills in your power job, your name say recess, but free. But would they patapa? And I echo you say, made the quack of free. Yes, we free yes so emrane se no waba be su ho say mo na mo ni ho. Then they say you had an agenda because so you obi a oji your mind Ghana ho anka you would have put away your pride of majority leader moving to a minority leader and look at the policies you want to pass or the bills that you want to pass. That one would have been your priority. But look at say majority is your bona fide right. So you are not going to do anything unless you are given majority, so you are not coming to parliament. Sit at your house. Sit at home. And that is where we are today.
Okay.
Here, on the issue of the court issue, because Parliament is a master of its own.
Na muso mko sa like ko ya march into attacks and so.
Say ye person omuhu say enye court and they determine the rules of parliament. Court betuma any ruling, everybody will respect it. But you see, implementing it is difficult. So uni unuya ewo ho. Na wo de musimu ni ebusua peni bi obetumi akamo asema mamo na mbe kokota ba ko be wini. Now here's a fish one. And that is what we must avoid.
Okay.
Especially when we have everything at our disposal to ensure. Say, you bet to me. I think Americans did it. A friend is saying, Bonsu did it. Why couldn't you do it? Because who cried there? All this while, no, to me, enfa obuo and speaker, and co-speaker, and also enquire negotiation. You wrote to the clerk of parliament appealing to the speaker to. If you appeal to somebody, he has a right to respond to you or not to respond to you. He has a right to accept it or not to accept it. And you see, I must said it. Say, by this time, me 4 years, you know, I could go. Me 1 week, I'm the Bible Shebre. Don't forget, say, you know, your party, no, as in NDC or your MPP or Alan or whatever, you're gonna. But you see, so we could lose elections as an individual.
Yeah.
So I will not do anything. NDC, we told our people straight. We have targeted 187 seats in parliament. Based on that, don't risk anything and leave your constituency and go and sit. Yakachomu plane. And that is what we are doing. I feel we need to see Speaker of Parliament so on your day.
Okay.
So on your day.
And that's it.
And this kind of disrespect must be properly addressed.
Oh, and then come on, maybe. Okay, and now,
starting 1 o'clock.
Okay. Okay.
Most of them started 12 or Madina.
Madina.
Muso ya wadana.
Hey. Okay.
Aya wasa west will go hobe ye dey say.
Omo na ye o Madina.
La community any nkurase for na no form.
Medase.
Ya no me no form.
Abobo ye mu na moto.
Abobo ya na
mo dey ko ba bia.
Extra for baba abobo ya na tia. Ye me sha.
Medase pa. Ya so mpa.
Mame for akwenya we na. Enura happened to be the birthday of my last boy. Bubune.
Okay.
He was 7 yesterday.
Oh,
no, happy belated.
And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Okay, Adokofo
ne ba panyi your friend Kwame Adokofo na me personally nsa me kasa
I also confirm the college on behalf of
seriously
Solomon so medase yes so na yakoi me pese me dey se dikitwa bitu empagifo no so beti amame a mesre se mo nipa nsum ni mu bebre because nipa ne honhon no emfa nhyira ma e de no me na eba na proof kwada no se sikeri obo chama a ye sama mu chama mo wa mo chaw pa chance e kwada no esungu omumu enya de a ebo o ma na okwantia ahana be ne kama kwan ema ye di enti ye beda ase dem ye so so kwai eye me da na ye to aba ne na wo twe pepepe hwe wasetenam ne to aba se ye ma wo a eno ano no se enye ma nso eno ano special vote ni de ene adwada ye be ya eno beto nti ye be hwe de besie ye nim se bibia be ko na wi aso bie so abasa be se bia ense meda team na ase so bo hyehyɛ dwuma die na me so be di ho chiama me din e de agya kwabre ye ho agya kopon ya adom a da se ne election day ye de ho sem nyina be brɛ mu yakra mu